last two episodes, I discuss about social crime and I define it for you guys, and also give you the type of social crime. Then the last video which I released, all this video available on YouTube and 3TV Sports. The last video I talk about social crime prevention strategy. Some of the strategy you can use in order to prevent social crime from being happening, or in order to reduce it. And I told you some of the factors that make this so common in some societies like Nigeria and Africa. So now I'm bringing another one for you that's still under social crime, but I'm talking about crime against women. Crime against women is something that we need to take serious. You don't see it as if maybe because you don't have any relative that is female, but if anything happen to female and we don't take it serious, it's something that affects everyone across the world. So that's why when the issue come up, when it concerns the woman, we need to take it so serious. Any issue or any crime against anybody is not something we should allow. But I'm telling you that crime against women is high in number compared to men. And mostly based on the statistics, young guys, they are the ones that commit a lot of crime. And most of the people who be the victim of those crimes are women, children, and others. And that is why it's very important to protect women at all costs. And a lot of people made the mistake because somebody is not your relative, is not your girlfriend, is not your wife, is not your mother, and all that. So therefore, you see what is wrong, you cannot correct it, and you keep on deceiving yourself. We need to fight this. In order to fight this, so that's why I bring this particular topic. The last episode I discussed about crime prevention strategy, and the first episode I talk about crime and social crime, which I define it for you, and I tell you 4 types of social crime that's so common across the world. So I will still treat those type of social crime in order for you to know. It's good for companies, business owner, individual, or any type of person you can talk about. I know when we are talking about crime, just like what I say, anybody can be the victim of crime. So best way is for you to be in copy, know what is crime and how does this happen. So once you are familiar yourself with this, then you can now talk about how to prevent it. So from there you can even give your workers orientation, train them on some things that they need to know about the crime, the impact concerning them, and then the impact, the negative side of it to the company and all that. So that's what I'm discussing. So go to my YouTube channel, it's available there. Now let's talk about the crime against women. Most of the things that likely happen, a lot of people made a mistake by saying, okay, why a lot of people, especially when you talk about a woman sexual assault, see woman, maybe they abuse woman or they rape woman, all those kind of things. Some people will say, okay, as a result of dressing, that's why that woman got raped. I can tell you that dressing only takes just 10%. I don't even think it's up to 10%. When you say, okay, one of the factors that make people rape women, just about 10% out of 100%. You can talk about it. Maybe you can say, okay, due to as a result of dressing, that's why some women get raped. Then I tell you that just 10%, because dressing does not give you any chance for you to rape any woman. So this does not relate at all. And because I'll give an example of some female that dress properly and at the same time still get raped. So this is not a part of it. So one of the things that make this happen, that make a lot of people to commit a crime against women, this is what I will discuss about. So now, crime against women are significant concern worldwide, and they require attention and action from individual, community, and government. Government have a lot of role to play. Community have a lot of role to play. And you, as a person, individual, you don't know that you also have your impact. You know, a lot of people overlook some things when they see something wrong, especially if it's not affecting them at that moment. So they overlook that particular incident because it's not concerning at that moment. But you know, in order to tackle any issue or any incident, best way is that once you see it, you have to tackle it at that moment. If you cannot do it alone, you can consult. There's a lot of agencies that tackle some different incidents that occur. Talking about maybe you get somebody, or let me say domestic violence, for example. So you can call police to all those things. If it's a case of even robbery, so you can call police as well. And it depends. If we have issue concerning the roads, we have road safety and all that. So we have different agencies that focus on different issues in order to tackle it. So in a case whereby you cannot resolve the issue on your own, so for you to just overlook or forget the matter because it's not concerning you, why can't you just call those agencies in order to inform them of what is happening? Like for example, you have some boys that are stopping the community, and if you guys are not taking it so serious, the time will come, those guys will not allow you guys, they will not allow you to rest in the street in your community. So, and that is why it's very possible for you to just make a report at early stage so that to get that issue resolved at once. Now, type of a crime against women, most of the crime that always happen against women, and that is why you guys need to take it so serious, because there's no way you must have a female in your family. So there's no way, I don't want to know how you will do it. You must have a female relate to you one way or the other. Is that your auntie, your sister, your mother, any kind you must have. So when you are talking about a type of crime against women, so domestic violence is one of it, which is so common in Nigeria, in our community. At least if you don't hear anything, you must have hearing about this domestic violence. It is one of the things that's common in our society. And people, I released a video a long time ago. I talk about 7 reasons why people get divorced. And the video also available on YouTube. You can go to my YouTube channel at TV Sport. You watch the video. When you keep on having issue in your marriage, because mostly when this domestic violence occurs is, when it comes to relationship, when you keep on having issue with your partner, the best thing is that if you know that you can't cope again, so the best way is to walk out of that marriage. It's not something you keep on endure. When you keep on endure to some certain stage, you may lose your life, and we have seen it. We see a lot of issue that happen. It's either your partner kill or female, maybe woman kill the husband or the husband kill the woman, but mostly women are being the victim, at least 90%. So, and that's why I say, when it comes to crime, woman, children, and others, these 3 type of people, they be the victim of those any crime you can talk about. So, but mostly women, when it comes to domestic violence is one of the type of crime against women. And you see a lot of people, in fact, as I'm talking to you now, a lot of people are still in this same issue. Because family are discouraged, telling them, because they don't want that person to leave the relationship. Meanwhile, the relationship you are talking about, there's no positive in that relationship. And you keep on endure for so long to the extent that, even though it's not happened to you yet, at least you have been hearing different issue related to domestic violence. You see husband kill his wife and or beating his wife, all those kind of things. So if you keep on enduring this, that is why you see a lot of domestic violence. That's why we see domestic violence within the community. And apart from a relationship, a lot of people also take advantage of a female in the community. Maybe you see them, or for example, you have somebody who is your uncle, and you live with uncle. So they take advantage because they believe that anything they give, they tell you, you will listen to them, all those kind of things. So they take advantage of you, Even some of them, when they do sorts of things, when they it's not they rape woman or all those kind of things, and they will be telling them not to say anything. If they try that, they will kill them. They will begin threatening them. So all this are one of the things that make a lot of people not to speak out, and we see this keep on enlarge in our community. So actually, I will still give you how to prevent those things. Some of the steps you need to take in order when you be the victim of all these things for you to report. Reporting does not make you or does not, in fact, reporting is the best way to do, because a lot of people will feel somehow, maybe if I report, people will be mocking me. Forget all that. When you report, it makes other people to learn from it, and for them to learn from it as well, they will be aware of what happened to you, so that in order, when they see something like that, they can be able to figure it out and then raise alarm about it in order to prevent it not to happen to them. So because when you keep quiet, if something never happened, there's no way you can learn from it. So we only learn from something that has happened before. If that happened to somebody you know or happened to you, you'll be the victim. So, and that is why report about crime is very, very important. So when you see it, kindly report it. So domestic violence is one of it. Then talking about woman trafficking, or let me even say forced marriage. Forced marriage is another thing which is so common in the north, the part of Nigeria. So even some people still do it in southwest and other region as well. Force people to marry is another crime, which maybe I see, maybe due to the way our community is, or let me say Nigeria, because sometimes people don't see it as a crime, but it's a crime. It's a crime that anybody that does that, they need to arrest the person. You can't force someone to get married, so you don't do that. You see that the person is old enough to get married. Even with that, you don't force person to get married. So forcing somebody to get married is another crime on its own, and that's one of the things that's happening in the north. You see a lot of, in fact, not even just like I think I saw the post yesterday online that the Kano governor want to spend about how many billions of naira in order to, let people get married, about 1,000 of them get married. So, and I'm wondering that, okay, these guys that you are trying to join together, is it done by force or just wanted to marry? How many of them even have a handwork or talkness of educate themselves? You don't create things that can make a community peaceful, but you keep on creating a problem. These people, when they get married, definitely they will have sexual contact. In order, before you know, they will keep on producing a lot. They keep on giving birth to different children. And imagine somebody who is not even having any knowledge, somebody who does not learn any, even handwork. You are giving them, you are forcing them to get married. So they keep on doing this. And
Dear God, I humbly come before you today, grateful for the gift of my customers and the blessing of my business. I ask for your blessing on my customers. May they find happiness and success through my product.
if they continue forcing them to get married because you want to help them, you are not helping them. You are doing, in fact, you do them no, you don't have any value to their lives, because you don't force people to get married, because there's a lot of things to do. We have a lot of work to do. And then I'm very shocked, in fact, very disappointed to see a governor that's supposed to know more better force doing a mass wedding for a group of young people. So is that empowerment? When you see some things in another country, that kind of thing happen, even in America or UK, that governor will be in jail, because it's a crime for you to force people to get married. You don't do that. You don't do that. You can. There's a lot of things in order to encourage them. You can set off a lot. Is that you send them to school? If you cannot send them to school, can they empower them? Set up a lot of different business that this guy can do. When they get to some stage, they will get married by themselves. It's not something you'll be forcing them. So, and that is why forced marriage is type of a crime against women. Because, these guys, they can't marry themselves now. They will marry women. And I'm very sure, out of those 1,000 women they want to get married to, you will see some of them that is not happy to be in that kind of relationship. But the first time, is that the parents or somebody must have forced them to do that kind of marriage. So and you keep on creating all these things, and at the end of the day, we don't have any good result from all these things. So you don't do that. Even in Islam, as a Muslim, I'm a Muslim as well. Yes, there's a way that you can help people, especially those ones that cannot get married. Maybe they don't have money to get married, and they are older enough to do that. Meanwhile, they're willing to do it, but because they don't have enough money. So, but there's a way to do it. You don't force them. You see that you set up a business for them. Let them have something they can depend on. You can't be feeding them all the time. Now, these people, they are trying to force together. The time will come when they get married. So actually, how both of them will feed each other? Because I don't know, somebody who does not have any work. So now, is it government that will continue feeding them? So for how long government can do that? So, and that is why we keep on having a terrorist. We keep on having a group of people who are disturbing the community. If you don't resolve all this kind of issue, we will keep on having that kind of. And Nigeria is not a country that will tackle issue at the early stage. We allow it to grow, and when they grow more than what we can even handle, that is where we'll be looking for a way to making another money. So I condemn it. If anybody gets, in fact, I want you guys to share this video. Let it get to the governor, Kano governor. You are doing the wrong thing by doing a mass marriage for this 2025. Don't do that. How will you force the people to get married? Don't do that. So it's against women. It's against women, crime. When you're talking about type of crime against women, so this is one of it. Forced marriage is one of it. So woman trafficking. So is another thing. This particular one is something that actually is not only in Nigeria. It's something that happened across the world, and mostly Africa. Why we have a lot of people fall victim of this? It could be a man, woman, children, and anybody can be the woman traffic. So one of the reasons why a lot of people fall victim of this is that when you're talking about, or let me not even discuss, let me just give you the cause. When the causes and contributing factor, to some of these things that I just mentioned. When you're talking about lack of education, I mentioned that when I'm discussing about Kano governor, lack of education is one of the things. And in the last video, I discussed that government can do a lot of things in order to reduce crime. In fact, they have a number one role to play. Government have number one role. They have vital role to play in order to reduce crime. Primary school, secondary school, I told you guys that this is supposed to be free in order to encourage people to have at least school certs. So, because if they can have that, there's no way somebody who is educated, no matter the level, at least your level of orientation, the way you reason will be quite different from somebody who does not even attend any school at all, and who does not even have somebody who can give them, who is not exposed in a good way. The orientation is different. So education is one of the things, is one of the causes and contributing to a crime. It could be against women or any type of crime. Education is one of it, and the cultural norms. Just like what I say, a lot of people believe that is our culture, because for us to do this, for us to do that, it's our culture. But this is 2025. Those days that they do some things, actually there's some culture that is so okay that if they follow it, it is not even against any law. Actually, it's not even against even the religion. That kind of culture is welcome. But forcing somebody to get married or forcing somebody to do something in the name of culture is no. And we shouldn't allow that kind of thing. So if you find out somebody is doing this kind of thing, you can report it. It's a crime. I'm telling you, it's a crime. And when you take the person to the court or you report it to police, actually they will arrest the person because it's a crime. So another one, which is a substance abuse. I'm still coming back to the drugs abuse. For somebody to do something abnormal, if the person is not having, let me say, mental health challenge, then another thing that can cause that kind of thing is that drugs. So, when you take excess of things, even though when you eat too much, you will not feel comfortable. So, talk less of taking the drugs, and they will take hard drugs. So, sometimes when you see the way all those terrorists behave, sometimes you see that these guys are not normal. They are under influence of something, and there's nothing more than drugs. So, because that is the only thing somebody can abuse in order to misbehave, except somebody who is a mental challenge, somebody who is not okay. So, but if somebody that is with right sense, then you know that kind of person is already taking drugs that make the person to misbehave. So, drugs is one of the causes and contributing factors that make people to commit crime against women. Sorry. So, talking about causes and contributing factors against, that cause people to commit a crime against women. So, I told you guys about lack of education, cultural norms, substance abuse. So, and that is what I'm discussing about. Substance abuse. We could talk about drugs. When people takes over, when too much of everything is not good. Let me just take it like that. So drugs is one of the things that make people misbehave. And when they take drugs, that's why when you go around the Lagos State, you see a lot of young guys smoking. And if they smoke cigarettes, we will say, okay, maybe it's normal. But most of them, they mix a lot of things together and they smoke it. Some of them, they take drugs. So a lot of things. And when you see young guys, somebody will stand, already sleep. Somebody will stand, you believe that this person is normal, but already gone. So what is kind of thing that people keep on involving themselves? And why this is happening? Because the government have a lot of role to play, and they did not. They refuse to play that kind of role. Because you can't make a society to be this kind of, see the way our community, our environment look like. When you talk about how many children out of school, many people, even they cannot even feed themselves, talk less of feed somebody. So when we have this kind of situation, there's no way crime will keep on increase. And people who are looking for a way to mislead people, to organize the group in order to create a terrorist group, all those kind of group, cultists and all that, they'll be taking advantage of all those young guys. Because they have anything to them. In fact, they are in the street, roaming about. They don't have anything to do. And they take advantage of them. And that is why crime keep on increase. And now, above all, government does not even have a time. They don't have a time to tackle some issue. Some issue that we face now that become a large issue. It's something that we can easily tackle at every stage if government is active. We talk about Boko Haram. It started as a small group. If it is something that we easily tackle, then by now we can't be talking about Boko Haram, talking about bandits and all that. And there's one time like that BBC News brought information, giving out, putting this out. Instead for government to work on that, the next thing is that they want to fight the BBC for giving them information. Can you imagine that? So, and that is why Nigeria, it is only God can help us. So, inadequate legal protection. Another one is that when somebody commits a crime, I said it in the last video as well. When somebody commits a crime, it goes scot-free. Let me say like that, because a lot of people, in Nigeria, we value money more than anything. We rate money higher more than anything. We worship money. That is why when somebody has money, we see the person as a mini god. Actually, for those who can reason like that, but not me. If somebody commits a crime and we don't follow the due process. I told you that when we're talking about a crime, the crime have a process. before you can talk about rehabilitation. Just like the way they do for bandits, the way they do for terrorists. You can't just arrest terrorists, then the next thing you talk about rehabilitation. You don't do that. You know, there's an investigation, you have to conduct investigation even before the arrest. It is only in Nigeria they will arrest somebody, then they're looking for how to do investigation. You don't do that. The reason why they do that is because they don't have data. There's no data. You know, when I discuss about data, if a country don't have it, it will be very difficult to reduce crime. It's not crime. This thing pay 100,000, then that is why we need to tackle it. We don't tackle it, we don't follow the as opportunity. When anybody that commit a crime, follow the due process and arrest. So that is the best way to do the crime. Others afraid to commit a crime. That is it. Thank you.